This is my dream car. It's a 1977 Porsche 911S Targa, and not only is it a Porsche 911, but I believe it is the cheapest one in the world. So I know that is a bold claim, and I mean cheapest 911 anywhere of any year, and I'll explain why I say that in a minute. But first I want to talk to you a little bit about this car, why it's so special to me, and what brought me to it. This is an air-cooled 911, and it's a car that I've wanted ever since I was little. When you think of a dream car, the thing that makes it a dream car is you can't attain it at the time that you decide that you want it, and that was this for me. But when I was younger, it was a very attainable car. They were pretty cheap. You could get this car for like $5 or $6 grand in pretty good condition. And then 2015 happened, and I dedicate most of this, I think, to Magnus Walker, kind of bringing 911s back to the forefront of pop culture. And 911 prices went nuts, absolutely skyrocketed. And you couldn't get one in my price range anymore, but I still wanted one desperately, and I was starting to get a little bit older where I could actually afford one, so I began looking. Now, I never really told my wife I was looking until one day we were in San Francisco on vacation, and we saw a beautiful teal 911 Targa driving down the street, and I told her that's it, that's the dream car, that's the one that I want. But I don't know how I'm ever gonna afford one, but one day I will own one of those cars, and we will ride in it together. So for the next 2 years, every time I found one of these on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, I would send it to my wife, and most of the time they were in really decrepit condition. I was looking for one between $7,000 and $9,000, and at that point, you didn't get an engine, you didn't get a clean body, you got a lot of bad for your money, and it just didn't seem feasible till one day, this thing popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and I expected the absolute worst. Now, before we do that, everything in life's not free, but one thing that is free is the game from our sponsor in today's video. Hey, you. Yeah, you. I see you there just sitting around watching YouTube videos when you could be playing the best mobile game around. Farmscape? No, Raid. Raid Shadow Legends. You can use a link in the description below to get it on your mobile phone or PC. In my opinion, there are 3 reasons why you should try Raid if you've never played it before. 1, it's free. 2, it's fun. And 3, you can play with friends, including me. Did I mention it was free? What I like about Raid is it takes strategy. So if you want to win, if you want to complete the campaign or beat a certain team at an arena or complete a dungeon, you have to think about your team. You have to think about the gear they have on, you gotta think about which teammates you place in which position, and overall, how your team's gonna work together to accomplish the goal. It makes this game really interesting and really gives the game legs so that you can play this for a really long time. Okay guys, let's talk about my favorite boss, Sir Galaroth, Guardian of the Arcane Keep. Unlike the other potion bosses, this guy's actually good, and he's just guarding these potions to make sure they don't fall into the wrong hands. Now, beating him is fairly straightforward. His main mechanic is his basic attack, but it does huge AoE damage to anyone who doesn't have buffs. You have to buff your team. Another issue is his left minion. He's going to take all the buffs off, so you got to get rid of him early if you want to stay in this fight. There is a ton of stuff happening on Raid right now. This month there's special events every single day, a bunch of new champions, and a brand new Guardian ring that allows you to use your champions in loads of new ways. At the beginning of December, one of the most anticipated features is coming out. Check this out. If you want to get a huge head start on the game, you can click the link in the description below or scan my QR code. When you do this, you'll get an epic hero Chinoru, 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard so that you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get in the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you right here in the little treasure box. Ooh, I've got a full inbox. You'll have all of those things that we just mentioned if you join for the first time in the next 30 days. Once you're in, you will find me in the game under the name Built Official, and it's that easy. Click the link, get the game, download a bunch of free stuff, and have fun playing it. I sent the listing to my wife, as I kind of always do, and it was a joke, but she said go get it. So I packed my sons up and we went to go get it. And the car was literally in a barn on a chicken farm, stored next to piles and piles of chicken feces. It was under a sheet. That didn't help much. It was still very dusty. It was hard to see, and I was told that the engine was locked up. And that brings me to this. Now, if you're unfamiliar with air-cooled 911s, you may not realize this, but this engine in trans combo can cost between $12,000 and $15,000 used. Now, I know what you're thinking, we'll just rebuild it, it's simple, air-cooled, but to rebuild one of these, because of all the machine work and parts needed, you're looking at $6 to $8 grand to do it by yourself, that's not an exaggeration, or 12 to 15 to have someone do it for you. So I needed a 911 with an engine that worked. But I've had pretty good luck with seized engines in the past, and it turned out maybe they weren't seized, something was just broken or whatever, or you could kind of break them loose by working on them for a few days. And so I decided that this deal was too good to be true, and I had to just buy it. And as you can see, the engine's in it now, and as you know, because of the beginning of this video, it does in fact work. It was not seized. So that was a major component to getting this car for as cheap as I did. So everything looked like it was there. Everything looked like it was present on this car, and I decided this was my shot. I asked the guy if he was negotiable. He said no, so I paid him what he asked for it and loaded it on my trailer. Now, it didn't come with a key. We had to get one of those made. No big deal. And then we had to get it home and try to get this thing running. Now, we were able to get this thing running, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you how much we paid for this car. So how much did I pay for what I'm convinced is the world's cheapest 911? $8,000. I paid $8,000 for my barn find 911. When I told the guy I wanted to buy it, he told me that I needed to buy it that day because there were 15 other people in line to buy it, and there's a good reason. The price was low. It was very, very low, even if the motor was seized. So we got this car for $8,000. Now, I know some of you guys may be saying, well, no, there's definitely a cheaper one out there. I have a friend who bought one for $1,000 or whatever. What I want to make clear is that I bought this in 2021 for $8,000. Had I bought it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it obviously would not have been the cheapest. But because I bought it this year for $8 grand, it is, in fact, I believe it is the cheapest 911 out there. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Now, I'm putting some contingencies on that. First, it had an engine and transmission all the way in it. Second, it had almost the entire interior. And third, it did run and drive. Technically, even though he said it didn't. I put a fuel pump in it and the car ran and drove. So for about $8,100, we had a running and driving 911. Now, it didn't stop there. There's more to the story about how much it actually cost to get this car running, and we'll break down the cost of everything I had to do to make it what it is today, which today you'll notice it's kind of dirty. It's because it's my daily driver. I drive this car as much as humanly possible, and I love it. But how much did it actually cost me to get it running? Now, we're not going to count time. We're going to donate my time. It was still quite a lot. So what all did we actually have to buy to put into the car? Well, we needed a battery. We needed a new airbox because we blew ours up. Yeah, right. We needed gaskets all the way around the motor. We needed spark plugs. We needed spark plug wires. We needed a new distributor cap and rotor. We needed an MSD 6AL digital control module. We needed a blaster high vibration coil. We replaced the thermal reactors with an earlier model heat exchanger to kind of prevent the overheating issues that are so common with the 77 blocks. Sorry, 77 cases. I had to repair the oil tank with welding. I had to replace, did I say hoses yet? Hoses and hardware cost me around $150 to $200 just in stuff that I had to replace, bolts, missing hoses, things like that. And then finally, oil. For you guys that have never dealt with these, they carry lots of it. 12 quarts to be exact, and I've done 5 oil changes on this car so far, just from pulling the engine out and putting it back in. Speaking of pulling the engine out, we pulled the engine out 3 times now, and I've gotten pretty good at it, but it's been 3 full times. Once for the airbox, once for the clutch, and once to do a full engine out tune-up before I started driving this thing every day. That was the most recent one. We've deleted all of the smog, heat, recirculation stuff that came on the 77s, kind of backdated our engine to a time when these things lasted a little bit longer. The 77s did have the magnesium case, which is a little bit weaker than the aluminum, and you have to deal with heat if you want it to last a really long time. Oh, and then my most recent upgrade was replacing my oil lines. I have some oil crossover lines on the top of the motor that I had some custom ones made out of braided steel, not because I'm bougie, but just because it was cheaper than buying brand new ones. In this way, I'll be able to fix them a lot easier next time they start to leak, if they ever start to leak again. So all of that amounts to this. I don't even know this number right now, but I'll put it right here because I'm having to add it together while I'm editing. But that's how much it cost us to repair the car, and this is the price of the car with all of the work that we had to do. Again, all the labor was me. I am the warranty, as Tavares says. So that's the price it costs me to drive this Porsche every day, to own a daily driver Porsche. And I don't know what it was yet. I will once I'm editing this, but it was worth it. I can already tell you it was worth it because I love driving this car. It is such a fun car to drive. It's so cool to drive kind of this piece of history and to get to experience it with my kids. Speaking of having kids, you'll notice if you're a little more OCD that there's handprints all over the car, including some muddy handprints, and that's kind of been par for the course with my kids and owning any of my cars. So this car will likely never be super clean, but it will be used and taken care of by me. So there's still some issues to work out. But people always ask me when I buy stuff like this or talk about how cheap I get a car, how do you do it? Where do you find these cars at? And the answer is you just gotta watch. I wanted one of these and I looked for them consistently for 2 years before this one popped up and I went and got it. And when it popped up, I didn't waste any time. I was at the guy's house 45 minutes after he posted the ad and ended up walking away with the car. So a lot of it's timing and patience, and it'll get you into some really cool cars for not that much money. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've had so many questions about how much this car costs, so I felt like it was finally time to make it. I'm actually driving the car. I know exactly how much it cost me to get to this point, and like I said, it's been worth every penny.